Welcome once again to the Ben Smith Coaches Show here on the Bear Network on BCHS.tv, where you can see all of our programs on YouTube. Just look for BCHS.tv and you can see all of our programs. They'll stay out there for ever more, I guess. But I'd like to welcome Coach Smith to the program, and he's brought a couple of wrestlers along, and be glad to let him introduce them.
Sure, yeah, thanks. It was a great morning. I got to wake up from a text from you reminding me about the show, get a great week started after a long break with a lot of competition. But this morning we have our starting 107-pounder on our girls varsity lineup, Callie Ellis, and then I have team captain, two-time state medalist, state finalist, Ethan Lipsey on the boys varsity squad with me this morning.
Well, glad to welcome to the show. The last show we had was right before the season started. Catch us up to date. I know a lot's going on since then.
Yeah, so I mean, just to kind of keep it brief, we've had weight certifications, wrestle-offs, and then last week, I got a lot of text messages from people last week. Hey man, you excited about your break? I'm like, man, ain't no break for. We got Thanksgiving Day off, but we had varsity or JV competition on Monday and Wednesday. We had girls competition on Wednesday and Saturday, and then our varsity boys kicked off on Saturday as well as our varsity girls officially. So, but yeah, we had our JV competition down at Coahulla Creek. Just getting started, kind of seeing where we're at with some of those first-year freshmen. Had 27, 30 kids compete down there, had a good showing, and then we did a JV girls scramble at Ottawa on Wednesday, and our girls did very well. They ran two other teams out of the gym and got accused of cheating and that we're dirty and we're all kinds of things. And so
that happens when you beat them bad.
That happens, and we told them it was really good for these girls to see, like, they don't, like, especially Kelly, who she plugged in the off season last year. She came in once our season ended and began. She's like, hey, I want to do this. Well, look, next year. Well, like, next year started 3 weeks ago. Let's get started now. And to brag on her, her and Coach Kinsey and Coach Moore got plugged in all March, April, May, June, July. Like, she's a first-year wrestler, but she started March, basically, of last year. So she kind of got caught up before we got started, but they don't know anything other than our practice room. They don't know anything different. We kept telling them, we do things differently. Like, when you get to wrestle other people, it's going to be different. And
you found that out, huh?
We found that out. And then the girls' varsity competition went to Battle Greenville for Battle at the Cure. We got second there last year, and our girls won it's not our first tournament that we've ever won, but it's the first tournament that they've won to kick the season off, and hopefully many more. Finished just slightly ahead of the Lady Raiders Wrestling, and then several other very strong teams. So we're super proud of them. And then Saturday, we traditionally take our travel squad, which is kind of like our better backups, to the Hicks and Vandergrift duels, but we decided to take our varsity squad, and so did Cleveland. And so we won our pool matches, and then we wrestled Cleveland in the finals. And it was another barn burner, rematch of the state finals, and they ended up clipping us 30-31.
Wow.
We were down by 4 going in. We needed a 4-point, called a major decision. We needed to win an individual match won by 8 or more points or a pin, and we ended up winning 9-7 or 9-2. So we were just a point away. But I'm smiling about it. It was a super fun match. I hate losing those close matches, but it's a lot better start with Cleveland this year than what we had last year.
But that lose them close like that should encourage rest to say, boy, if I had just gotten that 1 more point or 2 more points or whatever, could held on and got that pin, maybe that just encouraged him to even work harder.
Yeah.
Which I know they work hard. Believe me, I know wrestling's it's a tough sport. I've never wrestled myself. I'd be in the heavyweight class, I guess.
Yeah, you would.
Kelly, you're at 107.
Yes.
Is it tough for you as a female to maintain that weight, or do you have to knock a pound or 2 off, before wrestling a match, before the weigh-ins, or how does that work with you?
Usually I do have to cut weight, but like I'm usually about 1 or 2 pounds off.
Yeah.
Nothing too drastic.
Have to sort of watch what you work out and sweat it off and all that kind of. Ethan, you're at 132. Same question to you, I guess. Is it? Are you trying to cut weight from time to time?
I cut a pretty good amount of weight. I was cut like 8, 9 this week. I was in Texas all week, so when I got back, I was pretty good amount over. So I
eating
cut.
that Thanksgiving food, huh?
Yeah, it was hard. So.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing in the girls' side for you as a wrestler there? I mean, you didn't wrestle last year on the team. You came in March, I think you said. And so you know what happens. You know how it all works. Is your practices, are they hard? I mean, I've always heard if you can't do it in practice, you can't do it in a regular match. You know, and that goes for every sport. And I think that's where you learn the technique and your skill and your holds, things like that. But what's tough about being a Barrett in the wrestling program?
Definitely like having perseverance, like definitely taking into consideration how hard it is compared to how other people wrestle. And I think that I'm just like, if I practice hard right now, it'll be so much easier going forward.
Well, you get in a quandary out there. It ain't like you can tap out and, hey, send in the sub here, you know. That's you against the world out there, and the coach can holler at you and give you advice and tell you what to do. But you get wrapped up in some kind of knot out there. It's you know, it's you and you only out there to get free from that. But, Ethan, with you out there, how tough is it? It's a mental game, I think. It's like I've compared it to cross-country wrestling or cross-country running. You're out there on your own. And wrestling's the same way. You're under the big spotlight out there, and there's nobody going to come in there and pat you on the back and say, hey, let me take over now. It don't happen like that. Is it a psychological, mental game for you against your opponent?
Yeah. I just feel like most of the time I'm like, I've worked harder than you. Like I deserve to win this, and I'd say I win most of my matches. So I think I perform pretty well under pressure as well. So
He who works harder reaps the rewards usually. Do you ever talk to those guys out there when you're in and out? I mean, I can't hear you or anything, but you ever,
time to
say,
time.
I got you this time, or anything. You trash talk, you know?
They're not supposed to.
A little bit sometimes. My brother did it a lot when he was here. He talked a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Sometimes
Yes, he did.
if they're getting on my nerves, I'll be like, just whisper something in the ear or something like that. But not where the ref can hear it at least. So
Well, how about you, Callie? You ever trash talk girls out there? No, just
No.
keep quiet.
She's very mild and meek-mannered right now. Her personality is bigger than what it shows right now, and that's what we're trying to get out of her.
Yeah.
And really, all the girls is an aggressiveness and is. I got to be careful how I say this in today's society, but it's not necessarily gender specific to females to get out there and be, crazy aggressive to a certain extent, especially if, I think you're coming from, don't you have like a dance, you have a dance background?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not coming from a organized team sport background necessarily. So like our biggest emphasis with our girls, and again, this is Coach Kinsey and Coach Moore, and I'm just kind of hanging back watching, is usually, and what they've began to see is the more aggressive, if you're semi-athletic, and you're competitive, and you know some basics, posting, staying above, some fundamentals, aggressiveness wins a lot of girls' matches, and if that's not your personality, that's my personality. I'm an aggressive guy in all aspects. Ethan is super competitive, so that comes out in aggression. Callie is super technical and has worked really hard, but she's not. She has to be aggressive.
You need that mean streak in.
You got to be a little salty, and if you don't have that in your personality, it's kind of hard to find sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what you got coming up on the schedule the next few days?
So back to the drawing boards for the next couple days. Not to look too far ahead, but we've got some big matches coming up next week with Baylor on Tuesday, and then
Down there at their place.
and then we'll hopefully see Cleveland again at the Cleveland Duels a week from this weekend. But this week on tap, we're done with challenge matches, thank goodness. We get to practice. We get to clean some things up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have Hickson here at home. On Thursday, girls will get to practice on their own. And then Friday, JV competition at Oodawall. Girls will get to practice again on their own with the varsity guys. And then Saturday, man, we're all over the place. We've got varsity girls at, is it Tullahoma? Yeah, varsity girls at Tullahoma. Actually, all of our girls at Tullahoma. I'll have our better backup JV kids wrestling in the Oodawall varsity event. And then I'll have our full varsity squad at Knox Catholic. So we'll have 3 teams in 3 locations on Saturday. So.
And right now, you've had your challenge matches, so you know who your starters are?
We know who our starters are. 126 is loosely established on the boys' side of it. We're kind of working through some stuff there. Elijah McKenzie definitely has the nod there right now. But and again, it's like everything else. Their lineup's not set. Like we had some girls wrestle up this weekend that are descending. We've got some guys that are descending. Cleveland's got some guys that are out and descending. So, it's not really, you're kind of talking about the getting started, it's a good start for us.
What do you focus on mostly as a head coach? Now, what's your biggest concern? I know you've got a lot of staff members to help you there, but.
Well, being the head coach is different. I've got a lot of other things going on in life right now that are very distracting and demanding to a certain extent. But
you got a good staff.
Oh my gosh, I have an amazing staff. But me personally, I always find my mind going back to the sport. When I left there Saturday and I got home, there was like, I was present, but I wasn't present. And finally, my wife and my kids were like, "Hey, we're hanging
family time.
Yeah, we're hanging these lights. We're putting this tree up." And they're like, "What are you thinking about right now?" And I'm thinking about like, why is our lead hand getting attacked, and why can we not counter, a lead leg club? And I actually made out practice that evening once the kids went to bed. But man, I'm always thinking about. And I ask these guys to trust me, like trust the plan, trust the process, trust the system. But I'm always trying to stay ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
And looking at down the road, and I'm looking at the results from the girls' tournaments going, yeah, we started good, but we finished, like we had a good start based off of what I've seen. But we slowed down toward the end of the tournament. We had some conditioning issues. But as the head coach, it's always trying to focus on that 5 or 10% that nobody knows that you know, or focus on that. That's the stuff that keeps you up.
Yeah.
Coaching these guys and girls is fun, and that's the highlight of my day, usually outside of, seeing my family and my kids. But, there's a lot that goes into having 52 boys and 22 girls and a bunch of knucklehead assistants and, it's...
And a knucklehead coach to go with it.
Hey, I did not get a team point deducted this weekend. I didn't get thrown out of any event. I didn't even get warned.
It's calm.
Yeah.
Wow,
For the
that's
most part.
very calm.
For the most part, yeah. So, I'm in a good spot.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming by as always.
Sure.
We're continuing with our weekly shows now. The Thanksgiving break is
Sure.
over. We're running all the way up through. And
I forgot, what did our girls have outside of Tullahoma? Now, we will have our first ever girls home wrestling match next Thursday.
The 3rd.
The 3rd?
No.
No, it's the 8th.
8th, yeah.
The Cleveland Lady Raider wrestling team and the Bradley Central Barrett wrestling team, which it's weird to even say.
Yeah.
We're having our first home match here at Bradley Central High School next Thursday.
Wow.
Bradley versus Cleveland. Hopefully that's a indicator of the state finals. And I know Clarksville, Northwest, and Rossview have something to say about that, but that's going to be some history to be made, and we'd like to have everybody come out, not just for us, but also for them. We'll have the guys there working the matches and cheering for them, students sectioned up, have the cheerleaders there. It's going to be a good time.
Well, anytime you say Bradley Cleveland, that gets a lot of attention there, and especially with the first girls varsity match, and that should be a lot of fun. And we
Sure.
wish Callie and all your girls and coaches the best of luck there. Everybody stay injury-free, both teams, and
That's right.
just have a good season there.
That's right.
Callie, thank you. Ethan, thank you. Good luck. As I said, stay injury-free. Keep that weight where it needs to be, and keep on wrestling.
Sure.
We'll do this again next time.
Like it.
We'll
Thank you,
see
man.
you. Until next time, folks, we'll say God bless for now, and go Bears and Bearettes.